muffler bracket. It's a support bracket. The new aftermarket exhaust does require it to be in place. So we're simply going to remove these bolts, pull this off, separate this bracket, and put it back on the car. Back at Manatee Motorworks, we removed the exhaust bracket from the original muffler, put it back on the car because the new system has clamps that go around this to hold the system in place. We put the bolts back in, torqued them to spec. It's very critical. You want to make sure you do that. And now we're getting ready to put the converters on. Converters are supposed to go on each of the turbos. We have them laying here. What we're going to do now is transfer the O2 sensors to the converters while you watch. Converters are marked. Very nice stuff from this company, by the way. This is the left converter. The right will be circled on Shannon's. We're going to make sure that we put some anti-seize on the sensors. I'm going to take the front one out first as to not get it confused. Never do this without anti-seize. It's just part of being a professional technician. Okay, there's our front sensor all lubed up. Shannon's almost got his in. He's younger, he's faster than me. What can I say? Plus I just keep talking. Keep talking. Sometimes your oxygen sensors will get a little, as I call it, boogered up on the threads on removing them. So if you're putting them in and they're anything except really free and easy to screw in, if they're rough at all, you may need to tap the O2 sensor or possibly even replace it. They should not be binding when they go in. If they are, they will never come out. And usually they won't even go in all the way, which is very critical that they do, in my opinion. Now I'm putting the rear one in. Even if it doesn't have the paper sticker, there is a stamped in arrow. This would be forward, this would be outlet. All right, we've got those in. I'm just going to snug them just a little bit right now, and when we get them bolted in the car, we'll actually torque them down a little better. Next thing we do, very carefully slide these into place. We are still going to maintain our turbo heat shields. That's not an option, they have to be. And it's a little bit awkward with the heat shields, but once you get everything lined up, they kind of fall into place. See, Shannon made it fall into place. I gotta work a little harder. What we're doing, we got your, as we last talked to you, we were gonna put the bolts back on the catalytic converters with the heat shields and mount both sides. Shannon's got his side on also. It's a little tricky, takes a little time. Make sure you keep your threads nice and clean on your turbo so that the bolts seat properly, and ideally replace the lock nuts with brand new ones. We've got the bracket on to hold the new exhaust. At this time, we're going to sit it in place, show you how it looks. Pop our clamps on. They're really cool pop-out clamps. I'm sure that's not the technical term for them, but that's what we're going to call them today. Isn't that right, Shannon?
That's right. Got my side on.
Give me a hand here.
I got it.
Well, the clamp goes like that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, let me run these down a little bit. used to be. They are 11 millimeter nuts on these clamps. And we're just going to snug it down to keep it from falling off. And we're going to do the other side.
Sure it's lined up. Or if it's lined up.
Well, if it doesn't, well, it would sort of.
We'll pull it in place.
If not, heat will.
Oh, look at that.
There's a little bit of a distortion between a lining up of the catalytic converters in the pipe, but it seems to go right into place with no problem. We're going to torque this down and get the rest of it ready to go on, and we'll be right back on. It's very easy. We had two really nice clamps that pull everything down. They're like a flange clamp. Pulled everything right in place. Everything lined up really good. Now it comes with the kit. We're not going to say what brand this is, as you can see, but it seems to be a very nice piece. It comes with two clamps which strap around this and go to the original bracket behind that we put back on, and that's to keep it stable. So we're going to put those on and we'll be right back with you. Okay, we're putting the clamps on for the support bracket that's on the back. It's a little bit trickier than you think, but it's really simple once you look at it. You slide this part in, you take the nut off that retains it together, slide it apart, slide that through, you cock it a little bit, put it over the support strap, which is actually bolted to the engine bracket. You start your nut back on, and then you swivel that pretty little shiny clamp around to where it's on the back side. Although I popped off, there we go. So it'll be out of the focus. Scoot it where it's in on the bracket good, and you simply tighten her down. Shannon, go ahead and get yours. It does have a lock nut on it, so it'll retain it. This is our first time putting one of these systems on, but it is very nice. All right, we'll be right back. This project up. It's been fun doing it with you guys. We're going to make this pretty quick. We're going to install the heat shield. This is a lot more fun with two people, by the way. Like anything, as long as it's the right people.
That's right.
Very key factor there. Now we're making sure that there's no interference between the heat shield and the muffler. Looks good. It's got 3/8 to 1/2 inch all the way across. Now we're going to install the rear bumper assembly, the rear bumper structure, the heat shield, 16mm bolts. Now we're going to install the rear bumper cover. We're just going to move right along. We did already route the oxygen sensor wires up. We'll go over that with you in just a minute here. Let's pop this thing on. I'm ready to go for a ride. First thing you have to do, remember to hook up your distance sensors. You have one big plug. It's right there. Make sure you hear it click. Make sure you check it. We're going to sit it up on this back edge. Have to sit it up on the back edge first. There we go. We're going up on the back edge, and then we're going to slide the sides in and forward. These things are pretty easy to fit in place. They want to be there and they're pretty happy. What I always do is center the gaps up here on top. Assuming you've got a car that's never been totaled, that space will be correct as I've seen it, and you won't have any issues. Let's put the metal strip on it. Metal strip is right here. We'll put it out of the way so it wouldn't get scratched up. This is where your 4 Allen screws were going in. Phillips. I did that last time too. They're Phillips screws. See? Right there. 4 of those. What I generally do is just start them. These little cars are made very well. Things line up very good. But still it's best to start everything equally and then tighten it down. It's not necessary. Have to. It's just the way I do it. What I do is look at my gaps again. It's just a visual. They don't have to be super tight. Okay, we got that. Now we're going to go around to, we're going to go ahead and pop the taillights in. We're here. We're going to get them out of the way. It's at the right level. Plug them in, make sure you hear the click. Did you hear that click? It was there. It's a real thing. Light assemblies have little notches that they slip in. They, when they're in place, they are where they want to be. We're pretty busy here, by the way. Doesn't it sound like it? You know what? We're going to go ahead and get this buttoned up. Got our original equipment, T25. I'm sure there's a technical name for these strange little devices, but I don't know it. Check your fitment as you put it in. Also, be sure to note if things are cracked when you remove them. So these little people didn't notice things, come back and say, uh-oh, I don't remember that. All right, let's raise her up, please. How you doing? The bumper cover, everybody's here. Wish you were too, but going over here, we're gonna start with the forward screws. We'll put a little light on it. Shannon is too. That long screwdriver helps so much, and after he gets it a little close, he's going to take his left hand, okay, move back, Sue, and he's going to make sure that the alignment gap is lined up good. And while he's doing that, and then the other side, bear with me 1 second, let me pop this forward a little bit, Shannon.
Yeah, okay, there it goes. See that gap change? Very nice.
When everything line up, I'm going to be putting these other screws in. Susan's going to hit me right here with the old audio video rock-a-rolla. One thing nice about these cars is they want to be put back together. When you do take them apart, things don't fly apart. It's a little difficult to see the hole. We'll raise this up a hair. Sue, hit that green button for me, huh? Got it. That's good. And I got 2 more Phillips screws that we took out of the rear that we're going to put in. Changing bits over to Phillips. They go right here. They are for the heat shield. We're going to put the bumper flippers in. I'm sure that is not the technical name, but it seems cute for the moment. start the bolts in. That way you don't have to fish around up there and look for them. They've got a little bitty lip right here. That little lip clicks in on that little lip. It kind of lines things up. Or it does line things up. Then it slides right in on the bolt. Come off, please. It's just gonna come out. Little covers have a tab. It goes in on the upward side and it goes in and catches. You got to make sure all that gets down in there out of the way. So you just put it in, pop it on. We're going ahead and put these exhaust tips on. By the way, really nice the way this shows. It's really not hanging down far as it looks like it is. All we're going to do is open up the clamps so we can slide these on. And we already slipped them in place for a moment to see how they looked and lined up. It seemed like all the way on was the spot. When you put these on, because of the angle, put the big part to the inside. You do have a choice of a single or a double outlet flange like this. This customer chose this one. There is a marker on these. We're going back to there. We have also looked at it and determined that we like to keep the angle of the bumper the same as the edge of the pipe. And so we're going to tighten things up. We're ready to do this.
Still looking good?
Very good. That's a thumb. That's what I wanted. Hold on.
I gotta put a wrench on the top.
13. Got it.
Got it.
Hold on. Let me get it level.
Yeah, I know you're good.
Let me get it where I'm happy with it. The fire away. Now do it. Good. Very nice. Very well made. Take her up all the way in. Let me make sure my clearance is here. I got a thumb. Something about my thumb. It seems to do just the right size. Hold it. Put that on. It needs to go 1/4 inch past that. Thumb. We're going to turn it up just a hair. And that should be correct. Taking a peek, comparing, makes me crazy when they aren't exactly perfect. There's no such thing as almost perfect. All right, we got a thumb clearance. We're good. Perfect. All right, Sue's gonna step back, give you a little shot while we let it down. We're gonna hook up those O2 sensors.